Welcome everyone to another episode of the Saturday Mourning Reads, where we make ourselves suffer through fanfiction for the hell of it. And today we present to you Darth Vader vs. Godzilla by Godzilla54. And the summary is: the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader, invades the planet of Earth. Little does he know that there's a little or big surprise in store for him. Godzilla Star Wars crossover. Also, some romance squeezed in somewhere, so brace yourselves.
Prepare. How about some Darth Vader and Godzilla action? Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say, out of the fanfics we've read, this may be the oldest one we've read, marking at 10 years old.
To date.
To date, yeah.
Just wait till the Rampage one.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that one's pretty old.
This one was last updated December 15th, 2008. 10 years old. What the frick?
Kill me.
Let's begin. Chapter 1. Darth Vader vs. Godzilla. My first fanfic. It's mostly Star Wars and Godzilla stuff, but some scenes are parodies of other works. This story is also set in between Revenge of the Sith and
A New Hope.
A New Hope.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Kaijuix is not a Star Wars fan.
I'm not really much of a Star Wars
Kill
expert.
him!
This story is set between Rots and
Traitor!
And is also set...
Traitor!
Okay, so it's set in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and is also set after Final Wars. Nope, I'm not really sure if this is what would really happen if Darth Vader had met Godzilla. This is only my conception of how the conflict would go.
Well, I can tell you exactly what would happen. Darth Vader would take one look at Godzilla and be like, nope, fuck that.
Yeah. All characters belong to Lucasfilms and Toho. All rights reserved. Chapter 1. The Lion's Den. Deep in the outer regions of space, a lone Imperial shuttle makes its way through the abyss. It's unusual for a ship like this to even be off the ground without at least 2 fighters acting as bodyguards for it. But today is different. All fighters with their pilots are elsewhere.
They're dead.
Yes. Inside the white, oddly shaped craft, a dark, helmeted figure sits in the cockpit. Silently, he guides the shuttle through the vast blackness with the most boring of ease, his hollow, mechanical breathing echoing off the walls. Suddenly, one of the many contraptions on his dashboard starts rigging the Imperial March by John Williams.
Who would have known John Williams was in the Star Wars universe?
Yeah, it's
like
canon now.
Wow,
Yeah, it's canon now, I guess. The ominous-looking pilot raised his gloved hand and presses a small blue button on the device. Almost instantly, a small blue glowing hologram of a humanoid emits from a disc behind the steering wheel. The humanoid was old and frail, his face hidden behind a large hood. All that could be seen of him was his unfriendly, insidious mouth.
Get it? What is thy bidding, my master?
Said the dark pilot as he gazes at the oncoming message being played before him.
Lord Vader.
Creaks the old cloaked man, revealing himself to be none other than Emperor Palpatine, ruler of the Grand Empire of the Galaxy and ultimate Sith Lord.
Spoilers.
Also known as the sexiest character in Star Wars.
Yes.
What is your current position?
I am nearing the planet now. I think you're actually kind of in the way, sir.
Replies the helmeted pilot, who is none other than the infamous Sith warrior Darth Vader, who we already established.
I thought it was Darth Maul.
Yeah.
You were wrong. It was actually
it was
it was actually yeah. I was gonna say it was Dooku. It was actually General Grievous.
Yes.
It was actually Jar Jar.
It was Asajj Ventress. You're not gonna get that one.
Apprentice.
It was Poggle the Lesser.
Apprentice to the Emperor and leader of the 501st Legion, Vader's Fist, as they call themselves.
Fister the Jaeger is also a member.
I would like to point out that the 501st really does be known as Vader's Fist.
Really?
So,
It is.
Okay.
that's actually correct. Yes.
Yeah, that's canon. Also, I'd like to point out that Fister the Jaguar is a member.
Yes! Fister the Jaguar from the Pacific Rim fanfic is here. The shuttle glides down towards a medium blue and green planet with a small gray moon.
Good. Good. Have you established any contact with the stormtroopers you sent down?
Said the Emperor, a smile spreading on what can be seen on his evil face. Vader simply replied,
Not yet. I'll just have to land near the area where they last contacted me. I'll use the Force to find them from there.
May the Force be with you, Lord Vader. Why the fuck am I saying that? That's only for the light side users. And beware, for the planet's protector may be watching.
The hologram flickers out.
Which is known to be communism.
The hologram flickers out as the shuttle glides ever closer towards the planet.
Dick.
Fuck you.
Oh shit.
Oh, I think there's actually a little bit of internal dialogue going on here, so...
Okay. Want me to take over then?
Just kind of take over. I'll take the parts that are obviously like, oh, you know, here's the descriptor bit, so...
Ha!
Thought Vader.
The planet's protector was nothing more than a pile of bantha poodoo that some drunk smuggler came up with in a cantina just to get some high kicks. These so-called legends are stupider than an ill-educated Gungan, and that's saying something.
What they used to say?
Oh shit, you're still alive.
Yay, yaddy!
Die, 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 die!
Approaching destination.
Beeps an Aromech droid plugged in.
Oh, never mind.
It's supposed to be astromech, but
Okay. Astromech, quote unquote.
This person isn't a real Star Wars fan. They misspelled astromech.
Right. Atromech.
Gosh darn it.
Atromech droid plugged into the back corner.
Destination Earth.
Now
I need to get that uninstalled. God.
Now passing to Harley.
Darth Vader's mission log. A strange blue and green planet has been alerted to the Empire and the Galactic Republic far beyond the Outer Rim. About 25 parsecs to be exact. 78 other planets have been discovered in the same system surrounding the same sun. But the third planet, a blue and green one, appears to be the only one capable of sustaining life. Readings indicate that the planet is called Earth, a simple short name unlike Coruscant, Kamino, or Tatooine. Readings also...
Guys, I'm gonna be quiet for a bit because I need a vacuum.
Wait, did you say Coruscant?
I said Coruscant. Apparently it's what? Apparently it's what, Camino?
Yes, Camino.
Fine, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Palpatine calls just to correct him on his Readings also indicate that there is a dominant species populating most corners of this new world on 6 of its 7 continents. Dominant, but rather primitive. Scannings indicate that the humankind has only traveled into space a few times, and even then they have never progressed past their own moon. I, on the other hand, fly through space at least twice a day. I don't know why I'm saying this in the mission log. I was like bragging a little. My mission is to send the
Darth Vader, you're a human.
Shut up. My mission is to send the 501st Legion down to the planet and exterminate the defense forces, leaving the planet for the Empire to claim. They appeared to be doing a tremendous job when they first landed. In fact, they were going to get raises. But a little while later, we lost contact with them, so no raises. Now my mission is to head down to the planet and fix the mess they made. The officers aboard the Death Star and all my Imperial Star Destroyers are the planet's fabled protector, this damn rebreather. Damn it. That the planet's fabled protector was responsible for the mission stormtroopers, even my master, Emperor Palpatine.
Fuck you.
Whom for some reason I am saying aloud, believes that the creature plays some part in his disturbed plans. I don't believe any of them. Fuck them. No matter what happened on Earth, it is impossible for a creature that large to have survived my stormtrooper onslaught. And even then, and that even depends on if it exists in the first place. I even reached out with the Force a couple of times to confirm its non-existence, and received no signals of any abnormally large creature. Vader, out. Damn, that sounded nice.
Oh, okay, that's the end of the log? Oh. Oh, yeah.
That was the
that's
entire
right.
thing.
Beta, that was super gay.
I thought that was pretty cool, Eddie.
The Imperial shuttle lands in the street somewhere in one of the planet's larger cities, close to where the 501st Legion was dropped off earlier. It was located on a large island, a couple hundred...
So wait, Vader didn't get shot down when he tried to land?
I guess not. It was located on a large...
He had the power of Jar Jar on his side.
Yeah. It was located on a large island, a couple hundred kilometers from one of the biggest continents. According to Darth Vader's astromech droid, the island was titled Japan. The city he had landed in was named Tokyo. Vader then steps out of the ship and surveys the area he has landed in.
Oh my god, it's a place full of weebs.
No, that would have been if he landed in America. It would have been full of weeps.
I don't know, Akihabara is pretty weeby.
Guys, call it a hunch, but this is not living up to Yoda versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
The entire street was deserted. Silence echoed all around him. Not a single bird tittered. Not a single mammal scurried. The whole scene had some kind of eerie feel, like he had walked into a room just after someone was murdered in it. There was not a single living life form around him. Not a single living life form. Vader looked around and saw several corpses of Earth humans lying everywhere.
At least my stormtroopers have done their job.
The Dark Lord thought as he started walking down the road. Strangely enough, there were barely any blast marks on the humans. Vader walks up...
Yeah, they're all covered in radioactive shit.
No, the astromech misread that. It's actually Sapporo.
Wow, I didn't know this. I didn't know we were reading a trilogy. Eh?
Yeah.
I really
This
hope
is the
suit offers
prequel.
radiation.
Mecha King Jesus was the prequel to this, written nearly 10 years later.
I really hope my suit has radiation.
Vader walks up to one and examined it.
Well, there were blast marks. They look more like Vader. They just look.
Fuck you, there were shit marks on them.
I am conducting my own investigation, Master, and I do not need you badgering me every step of the way. I am a big
Fuck you.
I am a big boy now.
You still cry about your panda bear every night.
Mr. Stuffles deserved better. It looked more like fatal burns, basically. Maybe the stormtroopers had found some sort of earth weapon that could throw fire or something, like a flamethrower. No, that sounds dumb, actually.
Darth Vader then stands up and studies the other corpses around him. Upon closer examination, Vader discovered that some of the bodies were actually some of his own stormtroopers, and that they were so burnt and disfigured that they were barely recognizable. This was blasphemy. The humans were primitive. Their weapons were too primitive.
Yeah, so were the stormtroopers in your army.
Yeah. Their weapons were too primitive to outmatch the swiftness and power of the Imperial Army. It was impossible for any Earthling to scorch whole stormtroopers alive like that.
Wait, how come you couldn't just say Earthling to begin with? Because every time you say humans were primitive, that makes me think of the humans in the Empire as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say Earthling.
Yes, I agree. I very much agree.
Yeah. Plus, Darth Vader himself is a human.
He's more of a cyborg at that point, truthfully.
Well, he's still human.
That's true.
Yeah.
What could have done this?
Vader wandered aloud as he continues to search the streets for any survivors.
I think I'm lost, actually. Let me get my map up. Yep, I'm definitely lost. I should have taken a left turn and out.
I've discarded Darth Maul. Fuck your
shit,
cripple
so-
ass.
Now that
He lost. Hey, Maul lost his legs too.
Now that he thought of it, there were barely any alien species in the galaxy who kills in battle by burning their victims. Not even the Daleks were capable of doing such damage in this way.
So this is canon with Doctor Who as well?
I guess so.
You know,
What is this, a crossover episode?
You know, I'm pretty sure the Daleks were actually in Doctor Who. I'm pretty sure the Empire wouldn't be focused on the damn rebellion at that point.
yeah,
Just saying, the Daleks are kind of a major deal.
Oh yeah. So he couldn't have been beaten by this prize by a rival race. Darth Vader then walks up to an enormous crater in the middle of the ground. He leans down to take a look at it, thinking it was a blast mark for one of his ATSTs. That's a real thing, right? ATSTs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I don't think an ATST would be able to create a huge crater.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an AT-AT, but
Right.
ATSTs aren't that powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless it just sat there for hours shooting at the road.
That must have been a really bored stormtrooper then.
yeah.
Well, all my units, Dad. Better make it look like some sort of giant monster destroyed us all.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
He was really dedicated to it.
Well, okay. The giant monster is here.
He sent down, ATSTC sent down with the stormtroopers. Almost instantly, he felt an extremely large disturbance within the Force, as if something big and dangerous was nearby. The disturbance reached right inside him and started tugging at what was left of his brain cells. I get that Darth Vader's a cyborg, but that just... I don't know,
His
something
brain
about
would
that...
be decaying.
Yeah, it would be, I suppose, but wouldn't it be sustained?
It's actually kind of. I think Vader's head is like one of the few things that is largely untouched and still active.
Right.
Yeah, as we seen in the Star
other
Wars,
than the fact he's bald.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's still smart. It's not like he turned alive.
Mm.
That's actually kind of ironic because it seems like his conversion to Vader actually made him smarter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not so whiny.
Yeah, definitely. For a second, everything went black. Vader couldn't see anything. He suddenly saw a face fly out of the darkness. A hideous reptilian face screaming at him. Fire flying out of his mouth and wails of countless billions being scorched alive around him.
I didn't know billions lived in Japan.
Especially one city.
Yeah, didn't know that billions of people lived in Japan, in Tokyo, I mean Sapporo.
What's next? Godzilla's gonna send Darth Vader miles away?
Yeah, right. The face then dissolves in a mass of bubbles and turns into a lizard skull, staring at him from the blackness. At that moment, the Sith snaps out of his vision when the ground around him starts to tremble. The tremor grows more and more intense until Darth Vader loses his footing. He would have fallen flat on his face if it weren't for his...
Don't you mean mask?
Yeah, true. Flat on his mask, you're not even wrong. If it weren't for his force manipulating abilities, keeping him upright.
You know, I'm pretty sure Vader's well enough on his own to not use the Force, just not fall over.
Yeah, I know, you're not wrong.
I'm pretty sure he would probably stumble around of a giant earthquake hit, but I'm pretty sure he's capable of not falling on his ass without the Force.
Oh, definitely.
You know, if Tom wrote this, he would be saying keeping him erect.
You would. No, see if this
Darth Vader's always erect.
No. See if Tom was writing this, this would be double the length. It would still be exactly where we are.
Yep. The Earth kept on raging and moving. Vader could sense the disturbance in the Earth moving slowly beneath him, under the road he was standing on. It almost felt as if something was alive and making its way down the sewer lines.
A basilisk? Wait. So are they implying Godzilla is underground and tunneling through the Earth?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Why?
Godzilla.
Is this Zilla?
I was gonna say, oh god, please tell me I'm not thinking of a different Godzilla.
To be fair, Mothra versus Godzilla would like to have a word with you on that. So.
Okay.
And Godzilla X Years, both of those would like to have words with you.
Godzilla isn't underground. He's what surrounds us, binds us, and penetrates us.
I would like to raise you a
giant mountain.
I would like to raise you a Mothra versus Godzilla. Godzilla wasn't actually on crust and swimming through the mantle or the magma. He wasn't actually tunneling through the Earth in a city.
True.
Bam.
Alright, Godzilla Monster Planet then, where he comes out of the ground.
that could be like Godzilla versus Mothra, where he was just buried under the ground. He was sleeping for God knows how long. The Earth probably found him like the tsunami washed him on shore, and the shore then covered him up. Bam! Fuck you. I don't think I don't.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's just.
Meanwhile, Godzilla's got a boner while watching Darth Vader.
Eventually, the shaking subsides, and the Sith Lord could come to a standstill. He glances around, using the Force to probe the street, seeking to see if anything had been damaged. His mental searching leads him to a narrow alley, about 10
Where he
meters...
gets mugged by those same people who mugged the Jaguars.
About 10 meters away from the crater, where it was just about 10 seconds before. But Vader's slow walk quickly turns to a swift one as he senses human life. Human life! For the first time ever since he landed on this primitive rock, which has been only like 5 minutes, he had sensed proper humanoid life. And not just any human life, as normally white armor and helmet were scorched black with tooth marks in them. What?
So Godzilla bit him.
What? Tooth marks? Okay. Oh, now
So did Godzilla eat them?
Well, even if he did eat them, he's too freaking big for teeth marks to be left there.
No, Kaijox, you're asking the wrong questions. There should be shit marks on them.
Fair enough.
Godzilla picked him up, like chomped his torso, chomped his head, chomped like his legs. I'm pretty sure Godzilla would have to put him back down.
Yes,
because if he just dropped him, he'd splat.
Yeah, exactly. This would have been made on a conscious effort on Godzilla's part if this were to be feasible. So it's like,
you know what would be cool? You know what would be cool if it was just like here, him. It was like halfway done. It was just and Darth Vader was like, "What the fuck, you?
Yeah,
let me get my bugs. I need to get my poop."
Hey guys, maybe Jet Jaguar Jesus granted Godzilla the ability to shrink and grow.
Maybe. We'll see.
Oh, so he has Final Wars minion powers.
Pretty much.
Maybe it was the Zilla children.
Well, let's see where this plot takes us. Let's see. Blood was pouring from a wound in the shoulder where the armor had broken away. But the worst of the damages would be his legs. They were both severed from his torso and were just lying a meter away in a pool of blood. Shouldn't he be dead already if that's the case? Darth Vader was shocked.
Stormtroopers are made of tougher stuff than that.
Yeah. Darth Vader was shocked beyond belief. This was worse than any of the other bodies he found near his ship. I think being burned begs to differ, but whatever. Now he was absolutely convinced that the Earth humans hadn't done this.
Are you sure about
fucking
that?
Shit.
Yeah, no shit.
No, it wasn't humans who did this. It was communism.
Ironically, there actually was no shit there this time.
Studying the bite marks ringing the stormtrooper's torso, he could tell it was bitten in half by some sort of an animal. A very large one at that, and was obviously some sort of super predator.
Yeah, thanks for telling us that. We would never have guessed. But what?
Vader thought as he stares at the marks, perplexed. At this, the stormtrooper, or what was left of him, groaned and raises his head. He's still alive! Not skipping a beat.
No shit!
Yeah, somehow. Not skipping a beat, Vader kneels down over the dying figure and whispers, "Who did this to you?"
Also, Vader wouldn't be whispering, he'd be yelling.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Who?" Yeah, he'd probably be like, he probably would ask who. He probably would be a little soft concerning the guy and how he looked.
No, I think he would be pissed off going, "Why the fuck did you fail?"
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. He seems like the type. I don't know about that, but
to be fair, whispering over the dead body is a more dramatic nuance.
I think he'd be really pissed that something did that to the troopers.
Oh wait, I forgot. It's a stormtrooper. He doesn't get pissed off. He only gets pissed off at the officers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who did this to you?
By now, the stormtrooper was wide awake and started to babble.
It was horrible! Humans in a storm! The troopers being brought alive! Explosions! No one was spared! Ah!
Beautiful. Freaking beautiful. Anyway. Not listening to this random ramblings, Vader spots something in the nearby rubbish dumpster.
I love how Vader specifically gets down and asks him who did this, and he just completely ignores the first time of his words, like, hey, look, interesting garbage. What do you think?
Yeah. He leans forward and picks it up. Looking closely at it, he identifies it as a cigarette lighter. According to the archives, Earth humans use this contraption to light tubes of drugs and inhale the smoke.
Yes, but what about the droid attack on the wall?
I'm pretty sure Star Wars knows what smoking is.
Yeah. Not wasting another second, Darth holds the light as if... Isn't Darth technically his title? Yeah, Darth is a title.
Darth Vader is actually his title, not his actual name.
Right. Well, I'm sure Vader is... Well, I'm sure
Vader would be more appropriate.
Yeah, Vader would be more appropriate.
Yeah.
But I know Darth is like a,
That's actually his title.
Yeah. Holds the lighter in front of the stormtrooper's bloodied face. He ignites it and says in a slow and steady voice, "What did you...
What?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Gosh darn it, Kaiju X.
Oh my goodness.
Oh crap, it's referencing the biggest thing since AIDS.
Yeah. It's referencing 98.
What I want to know is, how does Vader know, why does everyone knows what was Vader trying to actually light the cigarette? He's like, come on. I don't really
Also,
know.
why would he be using a cigarette to ask a
Yeah,
question?
because it's lightsaber. You know what? If they really wanted to reference it, that would actually be really cool if he just activated his lightsaber. It's like, what did you see? In the same way as...
Yeah.
Instantly, the stormtrooper stops talking and stares at the flame in front of him, captivated by the flame. Reassured, he whispers in a barely audible tone.
I got this, you guys. Shrek.
I'm sorry. What was that? I didn't actually hear you.
Shrek.
Can you?
That's all I had planned for this first chapter. It was really intended to just explain what Darth Vader was doing in Godzilla's territory in the first place. The Big G will appear in the next chapter and the fight will begin, I promise. Please review. So in the meantime...
Get out of my swamp!
For some inexplicable reason, Chapter 2 is now full of underlines.
Hooray!
Alright.
Oh, you weren't joking.
Yeah, that's not distracting at all. Well, we'll see. Let's see how this plays out. So, Chapter 2, Face to Face.
Shrek.
That was the only word the stormtrooper mutters. Then he says it again.
Shrek.
It was the only word that stuck in his taunted mind. He's so disfigured and mangled and scarred he can't say nothing else.
Shrek.
Darth Vader stares at the
Shrek.
stormtrooper in horror. He heard of this name before. How? Let's see. As soon as he repeated those words, as soon as those repeated words reached what passed his ears, he instantly realized the legend was real. The fabled protector of Earth was a true being, and not only that, he was capable of doing devastating damage to great armies. In the blink of an eye, the Sith remembered the disturbance of the Force he had felt back in the crater. The screaming lizard face, the fire, the millions burning around it. It was a foreshadow of what had happened mere hours before, kind of like his dreams of his wife dying in childbirth. The vision was telling him that the legendary protector of Earth, Godzilla, had wiped out all of his troops.
Wait.
You didn't know,
Wait a
you
minute.
dick.
He didn't know about Padme dying in childbirth. He just assumed that he strangled her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, Palpatine wasn't going to correct him on that. Not that it would have mattered that much, honestly.
Right.
But yeah, I also thought it was the that told him Godzilla had wiped out everything. Nothing else indicated that some giant thing had nuked the place.
Vader's arm weakens, and he places it against the wall to steady himself. He sags in shock. It was a rare sight for a Sith this mighty to be acting helpless under unimaginable states of horror.
He then killed the stormtrooper who was still alive because he didn't want his image to be written.
Yeah.
Oh no, Annie, why?
You deserve to die alone.
Yeah. He remembered back when he first learnt of this dreadful phenomenon. 20 years ago, back when he was still a Padawan learner under guidance of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Don't you mean the high ground?
The high ground!
I have the high ground, Anakin! I'm going to be in less shitty fanfiction than you! That's not true! It can't be!
Freed. I'm not going to admit, this free underlined italicized
That's
reading
really
is
annoying.
really distracting, but I'm going to power through it like a champ. Coruscant. 20 years before Vader visited the planet Earth. Anakin Skywalker was standing in an elevator alongside his master, rising several floors per second. They were on their way to meet Senator Amidala, who they hadn't met in at least a decade, and were appointed to protect from assassins. Sound familiar?
Is that from Phantom Menace?
I suppose so.
I think it was from the Christmas special.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the
Okay,
Christmas
what did I
special
miss?
that did that. Anakin was both excited and terrified. He was about to see the girl that he had adored ever since the day he'd met her back in that scrap shop back on Tatooine.
You're sweating. Take a deep breath.
He started to sweat.
Anakin, stop panicking.
Anakin, remove your hand from your dick.
He hadn't anticipated on actually being her bodyguard. He always knew that Padme was very independent, if not stubborn. She probably would have come up with 1,001 excuses to continue.
Wait a minute. Anakin wasn't really officially appointed her bodyguard until the assassination attempt on Padme by Zam Wessel, when she tried to do the whole worms.
Oh, alright. To continue to work as a senator solitary. But he figured that she would have changed her mind once she found out that she would be meeting old friends. He smiled nervously as the elevator continued to rise towards the senator's floor. But on the other hand, one thing still perplexed the young Jedi. Quite a while ago, Padme had discovered a medium-sized planet well beyond the Outer Rim. Anakin remembered learning this from some passers-by. Then the issue was raised again in the Senate and the Jedi Council. The planet had one moon and was about 75% water, but whatever land was available was perfect for sustaining life. Suddenly, Obi-Wan interrupted his thoughts.
You seem a little on edge.
Damn. I was 2 days from retirement.
Damn! He must have noticed!
Anakin thought.
No, not at all.
Anakin stuttered, trying to hide his signs of nervousness.
You haven't been this tense since we fell into that nest of gunk darks.
Obi-Wan continued, chuckling at the fond memory.
You fell into that nightmare, Master, and I rescued you, remember?
Anakin quipped.
Shut the fuck up, Anakin.
Yeah, Anakin quipped.
I'll smack you with my rig hand again.
You know I can't help it. I have the whining gene. It's a genetic disorder.
Anakin quipped indignantly. It was true. Anakin did rescue him. He must have spent at least 6 hours levering him out of that hellhole, and without a toilet break.
Damn right.
Okay, I don't know why they had to mention toilet break, but okay.
He was lucky he didn't wet his robes. Gundarks are naturally attracted to the smell of force-related urine.
What?
Anakin, that's disgusting.
That I could not verify, but he is correct about the Gundarks and Obi-Wan falling into a nest of them.
Okay.
Oh, it was mentioned in the movie, though.
Right.
It was Han's like, you were strong to pull the ears off a Gundark, kid.
And Obi-Wan also said that Gundarks are really attracted to the smell of Jedi pee.
What about the Sith urine? Do they die from
remember
that?
that in the holiday special.
Oh, okay. I've been thinking about the planet Earth, Master.
Said Anakin, deciding to ask the question that was bothering him.
It's quite far from the capital republic, but its conditions are almost perfect for human colonialization. but it's been 7 years since its discovery, and nobody's even set up a base there. Not even the Trade Federation have dared to invade the planet. Why?
Because no one cares about Earth.
They're scared of Trump.
Nobody wants to trade with Trump. There you go.
Let me tell you about this man called Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He sounds even worse than me, which is really saying something, honestly.
Obi-Wan looked at his Padawan for a moment, unsure of whether he should tell the answer. He eventually gave in.
Well, time to scar this kid. A long time before you or I was born.
He started.
Don't interrupt me. Planet Earth was in great turmoil. A dictator had taken control of much of the population, and the whole world was rebelling against him.
Ah, sounds like what's about to happen.
It really is. It really does sound like that. It's kind of scary.
His name was Kim Jong-un.
He says like this, huh?
Yes. It was like a world war which lasted nearly a decade. Towards the end of the conflict, several colonies had discovered certain chemicals that, if used properly, could do devastating damage to whole empires on the planet. According to the archives, they called it nuclear radiation. Test to see if they could get it to cause maximum damage. I don't even know what that means.
I'm just reading the script, honestly.
Was erupting all over Earth, and from these now desolate environments, a demon arose. A monster had been mutated from the toxic landscapes from nuclear warfare. By my count, it was about 400 feet tall.
Somebody only watched the English version then.
That's not very big when you think about it.
Shut the fuck up, Anakin. By many Earth humans, and many Earth
Master,
humans
you
claimed.
having a seizure? Should I go get the medical droid again?
Yes, get the medical droid.
Fuck you and hurry with the story.
Many Earth humans claimed they saw it throw fire from its massive mouth. The legends called it Godzilla.
Don't you mean
But
Shrek?
much of the public called it simply Shrek. When it first arose, it was seen as a menace. More than that, an absolute symbol of death and destruction. Many veterans even had theories that the monster was the souls of people who died in their previous war, reincarnated to seek revenge. The creature was presumably killed, but kept returning over the course of 50 years. For a while, he did nothing but bring terror and misery to those around him.
Yeah, because they kept entering his swamp.
Well, he is an ogre.
But as time passed, Shrek started to become more protective of the planet it was born on. Threats from worlds such as the Sapiens, the Exilians, the Nebularians, Ghidorah kind.
I'm pretty sure the Nebularians weren't actually repelled by Godzilla, though.
Wait, what are the Sapiens? Is it the black hole alien?
I think
I guess the Sapiens are the black hole aliens.
Or Ceetopians.
I was
Oh,
no.
maybe Ceetopians.
I think they mean simians.
Yeah, I think they mean the Simians because
Yeah,
the
maybe.
Ceetopians were Earthborn people.
Yeah. No, they were actually the Space Hunter Nebula M.
Yeah.
Get
And
out.
Nebulans, mind you.
Ghidorahs, millennials, and Gigan,
And the Mexicans.
I love how they count Ghidorah
and
Gigan
especially the
as
Mexicans.
an actual like CP race that they're aware of.
I'll
Starting
give
to
the
invade.
Ghidorahs this. They're at least a species. Because you got King Ghidorah, you got
Yeah.
Death Ghidorah, you got Monster X. So
Yes,
it's at
Ghidorah
least a
kind everywhere.
species.
Trying to take over the planet and claim its resources. Despite being the menace of society, Godzilla became the sole hero. I mean, Shrek became the sole hero of civilization.
No, it's
Yes,
civilization.
they.
Also, wrong soul.
He has saved Earth from various races so many times, and against so many forces. Godzilla, Shrek, is immortal. No being has ever known to properly kill the monster.
Except, that one time in 1954.
Many of his battles, he comes out without a scratch.
Except for every battle he's been
Except
in.
for literally every single fight he gets into.
Well, it's because it's because his regeneration kicks in and makes it look like he came out without a scratch. Hey!
Except that one time where he was shot point blank with an absolute zero cannon.
Yes.
That was a really cool suit design. I like that design.
He has rightfully been given the title King of the Monsters, and currently resides in peace with the human race. For the moment, both the Republic and the Trade Federation avoid Earth, not only because of fear of Shrek, but also out of respect.
Keep in mind,
So,
Harley, before you bust something, keep in mind this is 20 years ago. Things change. There.
so I have a problem with this.
Really?
Star Wars takes place a long time ago,
Yep.
before
galaxy
any
far,
of
far
this
away.
happened. And Obi-Wan's talking about this like it
It was last week.
happened like a little while ago,
Is he a
like
Futurian?
years ago. But but it's supposed to take place many years before any of this happened.
Is that like part of the Star Wars canon that everything that happens in Star Wars pretty much happens before Earth becomes a thing, or
Not necessarily. It's just
it's just Earth removed from the equation? Just like we're so far away, it's not even of concern.
yeah, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Basically, like the Star Wars galaxy is so far away from ours, it's just not even a concern.
Okay. Anakin listened to all this intently. Then he thanked his master when he was finished.
What a load of
Anakin, wake the fuck up!
what a load of bantha poo-doo!
He thought to himself.
This Godzilla is nothing more but folklore.
Hey, it's Shrek.
This Shrek is nothing but folklore, despite literal evidence that it exists. He can't be real.
Your thoughts betray you, Anakin.
Said Obi-Wan, interrupting his thoughts again.
You must beware. Just because you can't believe in something doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
I'm not sure you said that right, Master. Actually, something about that doesn't sound right. But I'm
Anakin,
sorry.
I will smack you with my Greek hand.
You would have done that anyways.
Anakin winced.
Shrek.
Sure. The stormtrooper continued. No, still not taking his eyes off the flame. Harley,
What?
could this be true?
Could this be true? Could this not be true?
Hurry the fuck up.
You get out of my mind, Jack. Would everyone
Anakin,
please
hurry up.
shut Why is everyone talking to me?
Come on, Abby,
Because
let's go!
Ignore the voices, Anakin. Ignore the voices. Could this be true?
No, Harley,
Your
I
mom's
can't
a
hear
whore.
you. I cannot hear you.
Could this be true?
Thank you. Darth Vader thought as he deactivated the device and tosses it away.
Yeah, back in the trash. Could all this damage really have been done by the fabled Godzilla?
Shrek.
But surely not. By the
You let
fabled
me shut,
Shrek?
Daddy!
Why can't you leave me alone for once? But surely not. This commander was delirious. He must have been seeing things. This trooper was a veteran from the Clone Wars and has seen many horrors, especially on Felucia. You know, that thing where we made a murderous Jedi Master. Good times. It's easy for a puny
That was
mind
fun, Annie.
like his to be fooled. I'll have to take his body back to my Star Destroyer and put him back in my... Oh, he's dead. Never mind.
Yeah. Vader was about to use the Force to pick up the half-dead soldier and carry it back to his shuttle when it happened. The Sith suddenly felt it again. The cold rush of a certain doom they had felt back at the footprint. This time, however, it felt to be 3 times worse than them before. His mind aches. Shocks of fear shoot up and down the Dark Lord's spine. Something was closing in on him. Vader could sense it. The ground was shaking.
Oh, no!
The ground was shaking at an unbearable rate. Vader lost his footing again. He got up just in time to see the horrors in front of him. The road next to the alley collapsed. A big hole suddenly appeared. The asphalt...
That's that darned ATST again.
Oh, so that's where it went.
Yeah. The asphalt just imploded into the ground, and climbing out of it was the most horrific sight the warrior had ever seen. As a Jedi Knight in the Clone Wars, he had seen many scary sights. Even though Jedi weren't meant to have fear, he still felt it sometimes. But nothing that had ever happened in his long life could have prepared him for that one moment.
I don't know. He's seen Jar Jar.
Yeah.
I have seen hell itself, and I have come out a stronger.
Fuck off with your mouth. Nobody cares.
I really need to turn off this. I really need to turn the microphone off on this thing. What button is it?
A huge creature was climbing out of the hole. A mega-colossal creature. Twice the size that of the Sando Aqua monster in the seas of Naboo. At first glance, Vader calculated that it must be approximately 100 meters in height.
I cannot win this fight. Oh my god.
The creature was mostly a dark green/gray color with massive dorsal plates sticking out of its spine. The bristle-like oversized saw blades as the monster pulls itself out of the hole and rears up to its full height, all while staring at Darth Vader. The beast rears its head upwards with an ear-piercing scream.
Oh.
As soon as he saw its face, the Sith realized the monster was reptilian. A dinosaur, as the Earthlings
An
would
ogre.
call it. Yeah, an ogre, as the
How did
Earthlings.
he dig out of the ground?
That's what I was wondering, because apparently Godzilla was just under the city for some reason.
So, is this actually Zilla then?
I guess.
It's Shrek.
Yeah.
Like said, Godzilla X Mega Gears would like to have a word with you.
That is literally the only instance where Godzilla purposely buried underground.
And can burrow. So, I've said enough. Apparently, they were supposed to be extinct for millions of years, but obviously this one had survived. Its lizard-like face was scowling at him with dislike. Only dislike,
Really?
not disgust. Vader stared up at the monster, not running, but standing his ground like a Jedi or Sith should.
You know, I'm pretty sure a Jedi and a Sith would probably be like, no, fuck that.
Darth Vader shat himself.
He too had the curry at the India.
Yeah, right.
I have tried some of your Indian curry. Wow. That went right through me. I sent some to my master. He will be most pleased.
Fuck you, Vader. This curry's giving me the shits.
I don't like it.
Shrek.
Darth Vader says he's staring at his growling contender.
So you are real, not just a pigment of a drunk's imagination.
So wait, you're saying that the wounded stormtrooper was drunk?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so was Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So is
The whole-
Obi-Wan.
The whole Jedi Council and the whole Trade Federation were drunk. That would actually explain a lot now that I think about it in more detail.
Now, Anakin, I'll tell you when I've had enough.
Master, did you go to the bar on the 12th level again?
I will... Don't test me, boy.
The creature gurred at him, as if it could understand him. Really? Gurd?
Gerd.
Grrr. From now on, every KWC has GERD instead of shriek.
Right.
So you were the one who destroyed my platoon. Granted, I'm not entirely sure what other conclusion I would have drawn.
Fuck you, nobody cares about your dick.
Master, I am literally facing a 100-meter tall monster. Now is not the time.
Quit being a bitch and be a man for one.
This
Addy, you still gotta grow up.
Oh, this is coming from the California raisin.
Vader concluded, looking up into the monster's eyes. He was using the Force to probe his mind for any mental weaknesses. Strangely, in his eyes he could see nothing but the last thing he expected. Not only a natural dislike, but recognition.
Dad?
Godzilla, also known as Shrek, was looking down the Dark Lord of the Sith as if he had known him all his life. But that was impossible.
You were the one who wiped out my stormtrooper platoon. I thought I'd repeat myself just to make myself clear. You will regret that.
Vader accused, continuing his monologue.
Fuck you.
Thy Lord Shrek jerks his head back and forth a couple times. Or was he nodding?
Is it having a seat? What's it doing? Your thoughts betray you.
Says Vader, reading the creature's mind.
Anakin, that's my line.
Hey, you're dead now. Fuck you.
No, he's
actually,
not.
no. Actually, no, you're not
Guys,
dead.
wait, hold on.
Because this is between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anakin, learn your timeline.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just have all of my limbs chopped off, be thrown into a lava bath. I'm sure I will completely remember everything then.
Again, I wish I had them all back. Vader sucks.
I would have kicked his ass, and you know it.
Your mom's a whore.
You don't
I
talk
will
about
come
my
to go
mother.
back.
You think that you can destroy me.
Godzilla snarls, or maybe grins, and lifts
Shrek.
his arms into an attack position. We have established that Godzilla and Shrek are the same thing, gosh darn it. He takes on whatever idea he likes.
Your legends say that you are indeed powerful. Many adversaries have been defeated by your fist and fire, but can you survive the full strength of the dark side of the Force?
Saying this, Darth Vader slowly reaches for his saber, clipped onto his belt.
So he's not grabbing the lighter?
On guard, monsieur.
Yeah. He holds the weapon in front of him and ignites it. A long red beam shoots out of the mouth of cylindrical shape. Godzilla glances at the glowing blade of red light, slightly surprised but still unnerved as he prepares to fight his adversary. He roars.
And then Godzilla pulls out a lightsaber.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, poodoo.
He roars at the Sith to accept his challenge.
This is where the fun begins. Get funky with
Anakin,
it.
can you never
Hit it,
say that
boys.
again? Anakin, I've told you, I don't like it when you say that.
Vader mutters as he leaps into the air, lightsaber lifted over his head, and soars towards the king of the monsters.
I believe I can fly.
Yeah.
I believe I can touch the sky.
But strangely, Godzilla's signs of recognition
Shreks.
were true. It doesn't matter! He has met Darth Vader before, but not just once, not just twice, but many times.
Wait, they met before?
I guess.
What?
Well, apparently the story doesn't answer it since it's over.
Yep.
Yeah, it's over.
Yep, this is
Everyone go home.
the like. If you were excited to see where this whole idea of Godzilla meeting Darth Vader before goes, we will not be able to discuss that because this story comes to an abrupt end.
I read one of the reviews, and they bring up a good point. Hitler would technically be canon in Star Wars.
Also, nobody is back in the reviews this time.
Anyway, Kaiju X, what did you think of this?
For one, I think it says a romance squeezed in there somewhere, and I think that romance was between Obi-Wan and Anakin. if you ask me.
Okay.
I thought it was between Darth Vader and Godzilla.
That's possible too. That is very possible.
You remind me of my old master. You know what? I'll do you. Sure.
But
Anakin, please stop.
Right. With that said, though, my personal thoughts is there was a lot of tensing issues with this one. Like, it kept jumping back and forth between tensing or using the wrong tense here and there. Like, a lot of the places. So that does drag it down a bit. But with that said, I think there are points, like, this one, for being as old as it is, I think this one's actually, like, I don't know, it actually makes the idea somewhat feasible, even if there are points where it's just like, how do they know so much, or why is Anakin still having doubts until he actually sees Godzilla, even though there's a clear backstory, laid out. But, I don't feel like this is a terrible one. I can't even, it's definitely a flawed one. That I cannot question at all. It's definitely very flawed. But I think overall it does the idea well enough. It's just unfortunate that it stopped before the actual fighting could begin. So
I'm considering that a blessing, honestly.
Nagoda, what did you think of this?
Well, you know how you guys are seeing the second chapter where it's all underlined?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently on the mobile site it's not underlined.
What?
You lucky son of a gun!
I was wondering, like, what are you
Wait,
guys talking about? It's not underlined at all. And then I go to the desktop site and it's just a mess of underlines.
I only saw one
well
underline.
then.
Yeah, honestly, hopefully if this writer is still writing stuff, I really hope he's improved, because 10 years is plenty of time to improve if you're writing. So I'm really hoping...
This guy stopped writing at the 2010, so I guess, because that's when he last updated.
Well, once again, just because the last thing he wrote was in 2010 doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that, that they've stopped writing. They just stopped writing for fanfiction.net.
It's been 8 years.
So, Nagoda, were those your thoughts, or do you have more to add?
I don't really know what to think about this.
Okay. Harley, what did you think of this?
This was a load of bantha poodoo.
Shut up, nobody cares about your opinions.
But it was probably like the unironically best of the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
It was certainly the most well put together, and it kind of surprised me that they're actually showing stuff out from the Star Wars universe. I'm like, okay, it's clear they actually did their homework.
Uh-huh.
That's good.
Except for the urine thing.
Except for the dumb urine thing.
Yeah.
Does this prove that Kaisers are Sith Lords in disguise? Because they shoot lightning, they can stop laser beams.
Oh crap, you're totally right. What if a Kaiser's a Sith? Oh, that's awesome. That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
What if freaking Ozaki and the Kaiser
awful.
were just tapping into the Force?
I don't know. Was their metachlorian account high?
Probably.
Get out. But it's not the best. It's the best, but it could use a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely.
Mostly because they just really, really screwed the pooch of trying to fit Earth into the Star Wars universe. That's just not how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, what did you think of this?
I think it's decent.
Wow.
I think out of all the fanfics we've read, I think so far it's the best. It's written well, and it tells a decent story. I like how it's set up.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, well, probably goes to setup, but I like how Godzilla is built up.
Mm-hmm.
It brings a nice atmosphere to it. And I like that.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, there's, like, it definitely has a better sense of paint. Like, compared to the other stuff we read, this one at least had the proper decency to build up to the fight. Like, it lays a lot of the groundwork, it gives some sense of atmosphere and whatnot. Like, the only thing that really brings it down is just, like, the tensing. Like the tensing is, like, the amount of times it switches makes it really awkward. Like, even I noticed it. Like, that's, yeah.
You have a really noticeable problem, too.
It was so good I forgot to edit it anyway.
I'm gonna be the contrarian here and say I didn't really care for it.
Alright.
I will say that, yes, it is the best in a grammatical sense, but I just didn't really pull me in.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. I mean, with some of the bad ones, I was at least pulled in because it was entertaining.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Right.
This one tries to, like, this one sort of succeeds in taking itself seriously, and therefore you're not really, like, it's not written great to the point of, oh, this is really good, but it's also not written poorly to the point of, oh, this is entertainingly bad. It's like, no. It's not
engaging. It's not engaging enough because
it's in the mad territory.
Right. Which, granted, it still says. I mean, it's a little weird because it's like whether you like it or not is up to you entirely. But I could definitely see where this falls more into the like. I still say it's probably one of the better. This one I would put equal to, maybe even better, a step beyond A Morning to Remember. Like, at least a step beyond that in terms of just, you know, story structure and whatnot. Like,
but nothing could ever beat Halloween in Texas.
Oh, no.
Now, I can tell you exactly why, if the story continued, and it was finished, it still would have fallen flat on its ass.
Well, yes, Vader would have had to live.
No.
All right.
Well, that's actually a good point. But the thing is, they brought Star Wars to Godzilla, and you could clear, and everyone obviously had a really big problem with trying to incorporate Earth. What they should have done is brought Godzilla to Star Wars.
I mean, they've done the Zillow Beast, so why not Godzilla?
Yeah, and this is actually because I'm actually writing my own stuff, but I just have King Ghidorah invading the Star Wars universe. I don't need to do anything else than that.
Yeah.
I don't got to explain what King Ghidorah's backstory is because he's an invader. All I have to focus on is everyone shitting their pants and trying to stop him.
Yeah.
I'll say this: Yoda versus Godzilla was way better.
It was a lot more entertaining. Yeah, Godzilla versus Yoda was definitely a lot more entertaining. Like, this is sadly one. Like, even Yoda versus Godzilla is one that I still distinctly remember. Oh, hey, that was a fun read. This one is not.
Green you are.
Right. Yeah, this one is less of a fun read. Because it's like, you know, you don't really get enough to play around with because it's written competently to a point. So
It's actually somewhat serious, but
right,
campers
I could definitely see people unironically liking this, even for the problems it has.
Now put your mind back 10 years, and concerning the fact, according to one of the comments, it was this and then one other thing, probably the God.
But yeah, don't take it from us. We're not real reviewers. We're gonna be reading the actual reviewers.
Yes, the actual
ones who are critics.
All right.
So starting with Random Fantasy. Hey, Dogzilla, you know who I am. Great story. Please update soon. You have a gift. Kinda.
Yeah. You also forgot the Z. You also completely forgot the Z4LXX down there, right?
That's in the legends.
Oh,
it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. So not even the PS matters for the third one? Oh, anyway.
Prototron MJ Tornada. Hello, can you please update soon? I am a fan of your story. Okay.
Yep.
Stranger Girl 777-3. Wow, cool chapter. I really like the movie Godzilla, and I'm also a fangirl of Star Wars. This story was awesome. You probably got an English test. Okay, that was weird.
That's how English tests work, by the way. Can confirm.
Yes, it could be better if you didn't underline the second chapter. I agree. good story. I mean, Dark Deceiver says, good story. It's funny. There are only. Oh, god damn it.
There are
Only 2 Star Wars Godzilla fanfic on here, and we both made them, and both of them have almost the same exact name, except mine is way different in regards of genre.
Wait, is this the Yoda guy?
No,
God, I hope so.
this is very good. I mean, Kashara Khan, this is very good. Are you ever going to continue with this story? I hope so. So please update soon. Gus says, I like this story, but wish it would get finished. Hack Fan Web, finish the story. No. Gus, go Shrek. Gus also said, oh wow, it's talking about Hitler in World War II. Then how we test nuclear weapons on this desolate islands.
No, it's talking about Donald Trump.
I can't
Wait, are you sure it doesn't
can't
go
tell
over?
if that's supposed to be sarcastic or are they genuinely amazed about that.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that Star Wars characters know about Hitler.
Yeah?
It's like, why didn't they stop him? This was before Godzilla. I mean Shrek.
Because they knew if they stopped him, he'd just turn into a starfish.
You know, it's really, really weird that the explanation they give for why they don't go to Earth and, you know, I guess in the Trade Federation's case, take over, is just that, oh, we're just scared of, we just respect and fear the gods. Like, no, you're not, you liar.
Yeah.
That's like such a weak excuse, especially with the level of technology they have.
Yeah.
James Ryan, you evil author, having cliffhangers and shit. Continue the story, please. No.
No.
Ludwig von Icky. Finish the story, it's incredible. P.S. Are you from Europe because you spell lightsaber lightsabery? And normally saber spelled sabery in Europe. No bite, nope, says update now.
Hey,
No.
haven't we read a comment from No Bite, Nope?
I know, I brought this up.
I think we have. But with that
Is it a repeat? Now I gotta see if this shit is written anything.
Yeah. Read and yeah, to give a little bit of perspective on that, Random Fantasies and Proton's comments were in 2009. Strange Girl was 2010. Dark Deceiver, Con, The Guest were from 2012. Pack Fan Web, Guest were 2013. James Ryan is 2014. Ludwig is 2015, and Nope is 2017. So this has actually gotten a nice bit of comments over the years, which, I mean, being 10 years old, it's bound to be noticed eventually, but yeah, it's...
Oh no, guys.
What?
I checked out No Bite's channel. Look at here is one of the summaries, one of his stories.
Oh, you're there too?
Oh lordy. Alright, we will, well, alright, but yeah, with that said, yeah,
This was the worst one in the...
It's the worst, how should I put this? Would it be like the worst, is it the worst at being the best? The best at being the worst? No, it's not the best being at the worst. No. That goes to the other ones we
The worst
read,
of the best.
Yeah, kind of like the worst of the best of the bunch, I guess. That's so weird to say. Because it's like, I haven't particularly cringed, but I don't think there's anything here that was really... Like, it's got good build-up, but without the payoff, this is one I'm not going to be remembering much.
Yeah.
So, I think it is the fact that it ends with the promise of a fight but never follows up on it, I think is the biggest, shot in the foot for the story. It was like, because you could not detail the actual fight that would happen between Vader and Godzilla, this is a story I do not think will be as well remembered as you want it to be. Which is a shame because it shows promise. Some promise. But with that said, this was Darth Vader vs. Godzilla, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode of the Saturday Mourning Reads. Till then, folks.
Fuck you.
At Romac.
Gosh darn it.